Hello students, today we are going to see the new lesson, The Way Through the Woods. And first we'll see about the poet or the author and Joseph Rudyard Kipling, and he was born on 30th December 1865 and he died on 18th January 1936. And he was an English journalist, short story writer, poet and novelist, and he was born in India, which inspired much of his works. Kipling's works of fiction include The Jungle Books, which are written by on 1894, Kim, and many short stories including The Man Who Would Be King, and his poems include melodious ways. Okay, he is a writer. And the main message of about the poem The Way Through the Woods. This poem is a part of the collection of short stories Rewarded and the Fairies. Each story in these collections was followed by a poem. This poem is well known for supernatural element. The poem unfolds or really the past memory of little things. The poem reveals the Rudyard Kipling's love for nature, his style of writing about nature, and his relationship with the nature. The theme of this poem is power and the way through the woods. So there are the two stanzas are given, and then I have said that we can divide it into the four stanzas. So the poem is mainly speaks about the nature or the superpower of the nature that we can see. I will just read the poem. They shot the road through the woods 70 years ago, whether the rain have undone it again, and now you would never know where was once a road through the woods. Before they planted the trees. It is underneath and peace and health, and the thin animals only the keeper sees, that where the ring down brought and the bandages rolled at ease. There was once a road through the woods. That I have already said that there was a road in that field, and in the forest we can see a road. And how does the road has covered, isn't it? That is just giving the framework to the forest. So in a forest we can see a lot of things, the animals, the trees, and the different kinds of plants and different kinds of animals, different kinds of trees, and a lot of things we can, different kinds of insects we can see, isn't it? So in this way the writer is just going to mention about what are things are there in the forest, and what are things are seen in the forest, and how does the road has stood, and the main point of the poem. So just we'll focus on the main point of the poem in stanza by stanza, so that we can have the better understanding about the poem. So the writer is always keep the first stanza. They shot the road and through the woods 70 years ago. And here are the main points. A road was closed down 70 years ago, and 70 years are a long time during which the intensity of the changing weather and heavy rains destroy it. And the third point, after such a long time, the people of the next generations not could tell if there was a road and through the woods. And it because the road has disappeared beneath the bushes and shrub of different kinds of plants, and it is hidden from the human eyes. After the road was closed, trees were planted. And certain words that you should focus. The woods means the forest, and the shut means closed, and customs means destroyed. So the some of the words meanings I have explained here, just focus on that. And there are certain points to be these are the main point, these four lines to be focused. And there was a road in the 17 years ago, and the 17 years are a long time during the which the institute of the changing weather and heavy rains. And the second stanza we guess the main point, and there the regrowth of nature has covered it with a garbage. and heat and anonymous. And only the keeper or the taker of the territory knows that there was a road. Only those people who went there, they can see that there was a road. And there are not the birds and the pagans hate eggs, and the animals such live freely. The animals are comfortable with this person. So there are the animals, we are not disturbing the animals. They are lived happily in that forest, and there is no much difficult to live. And as expect the keeper on one knows that there was a road. So only expect the keeper knows there is a road, but others don't know where there is a road, because he or she may be walking through that way. Only he can identify there was a road. But the person, for example, if we go to that place, we can't identify the road, isn't it? Because we are first time going. But one who here went earlier to us, that persons can be see the road, and that persons can be just identify of there was a road. Now it is covered with the trees or the animals or things, whatever maybe. And the second stanza speaks about the entire words meanings are given on a textbook. Sorry, in the video, just we can identify the verse meanings that is there in the video, and just look into that the verse meaning and have the better understanding about the lessons. And here the writer is just keeping that there was a lot of animals, is given the most priority to animals. And the third stanza's main point: during summer of evening time everything is calm, and the taught fish and the pools are undisturbed. And here the other or the animals, okay, or mammals is not afraid of humans, because the place is very rarely visited by human. So the animals are not afraid of humans, because they are the human beings, the human persons are not visited rarely to the forest. And so we can also see the other is not afraid of human, because the place is very rarely visited by the man. So if the man has visited the forest, there should be a way to the forest, isn't it? So there should be a way to the forest, and there should be the way to enter the forest, and we can see enter the forest. So in that way we can just to be identified. The author is telling that of course rarely the human persons or the men are just to enter the men. Maybe only the keeper can be there, will be the forest department keeper, isn't it? So only that persons can identify the way to the road, okay, way to the road in the forest. And on the other hand, just we have the better ideas about the lessons that is coming to the under the words meaning. Just look into the words meaning and have the ideas. And the first stanza: in the stanza the poet creates mysteries. One could hear the trembling of the horse's hoof when the horse is not physically present. It is something of the past, when the road was used by men on the horseback. How a horse could trace the path. And the second one could hear the hissing sound of the stick of a woman rider, or the whip and the touching the dew covered the grass. And such riders not identify this old lost road is being hidden in the greenery, but the woods show no sign of its previous existence. So there was a road, and the horse was running through the forest. So there is a way, isn't it? So the stanza is: a poet creates a mystery. One could hear the trembling of the horse hoof when the horse is not practically present. It is something the past, when the road was used. So only we can see the horse sound, so horse was riding through the forest. Only in the past we can see, but we can experience or we can hear the sound that is in the past. Now the present moment is not there in the present. There is no present. The horses are not present in the forest, and one could hear. Okay, so that is the lesson it speaks about. All the lessons have the content. So thank you, and have the better understanding about the poem, and just to have glance to the theme or the main ideas about the poem.